my 14-year-old daughter, I was watching the show in the living room, and she came to the door frame of the living room and looked in, and she said, "Dad, why would someone make a show like that?" Joe Cappa, welcome to Bullseye. I'm so happy to have you on the show, and I'm such a fan of your show.
Thanks so much, and thanks for reaching out.
Can you tell me how you describe the show to people? Because by the time people are hearing this coming out of my mouth, I will probably have tried to describe it in the introduction to this interview, but have probably failed.
Yeah, it's like a take on a show like Seventh Heaven or something that's wholesome. When we onboarded artists and had them sort of download my sensibility and the humor of the show, we told them it's as if a live action director was given an animated show and they can't draw very well. And it's like they're trying their best to do a Seventh Heaven, but it's animated.
And it's their job to draw. It's not just they're job. Ordering drawing people. The idea is that a guy who can't really draw is trying to draw it.
Yeah. You'd like to think it's just one guy animating everything and trying really fast to do it.
Have you watched Seventh Heaven or similar programs?
When I came up with the idea and everything, I'd never seen Seventh Heaven, and then sort of retroactively watching a few episodes. I mean, I'd seen clips, that would be shared on Instagram that it's just such an outlandish plot, You
were on, people talk about they're on, book Twitter or whatever. You were on Seventh Heaven instead.
Once the algorithm knows I'm watching it, they're just going to give me a ton of Seventh Heaven.
Family Matters with a couple of One Tree Hill clips, and
it's the entry point. Yeah. And what's your take on Seventh Heaven? I mean,
I have a friend that worked on One Tree Hill for 10 years, and I could not bear to watch it, but he was a nice man, is a nice man, who was well treated on the program, which turned out to be run by a creep.
Oh, okay.
Guy turned out to be a creep that ran that show. Yeah. But it's its own world. My friend also ended up writing movies about the royal family for basic cable networks and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Romances about
sure.
Pippa Middleton or something.
Sure, yeah. There's something called Pure Flix, which is just Christian Hallmark sort of streaming service, and we have events hosted by us and other people in the group, and we just watch these really wholesome, or at least trying to be wholesome, Hallmark-esque love stories, and always sprinkled with a little bit of Christianity, and it's very fascinating to watch. Yeah.
Do you like wholesomeness, or are you opposed to wholesomeness?
I like wholesomeness. I do love it. There's also this other movie called The Buttercream Gang.
Uh-huh.
Have you?
No.
Oh, okay. You're oh yeah.
I'm just excited.
Yeah, it's called Buttercream Gang. It was made by Mormons, and it's about kids, kids getting into trouble, but it's very wholesome.
I was buttercreamer, when I was your age. Yeah, I've seen a lot of them come and go, but I think you boys are the best I've seen. You give all that change to Mrs. Jenkins. Yeah, the treats are on me. One buttercreamer to another.
Anyway, I was raised on that movie, that VHS, and so was my brother. So when I had my brother on to write with me, and it's just the two of us, we definitely had Buttercream Gang in our mind as we were writing it. And we love the movie. I mean, we still love it. We watch it just to watch it and laugh. There's something very, I like it, and it's it's also fun to make fun of, but it's you can have your cake and eat it too, which is what I think Ha Ha You Clowns is.
How did you decide that the version of this Seventh Heaven, One Tree Hill, this wholesome drama that you were going to portray in your show was going to be about a world of hypermasculinity?
Right. Well, I've discovered that it is something that I just inevitably do when I animate. Because, when I started seriously trying to do animation where I at least talk and I voice the characters, that was in 2021 or 2020. And like my first animation like had a dude and he was like, and he punches another dude. So it's just like, I guess it's because I am a man that I just think that way. But I've never punched anybody. But it's just like I always have like these kind of buff guys and thick necks and stuff. And so it had been like leading up to Haha You Clowns probably by that point. But yeah, I mean, I think there's something interesting about strong guys.
You're a slim man.
Yeah, I'm a slim man. In fact, when people meet me to act like a celebrity for a second, but like at animation film festivals and stuff, and people have seen my stuff, and then they meet me, they're just like, "You look nothing like I thought. I thought you were gonna have this really thick neck."
They just imagine
that's how I draw everybody.
A swole animator.
Yeah, very swole, who's really nice, and man, you make some kick animations. Good for you, man. But yeah, like somebody who's like really strong, but like really nice and wholesome, which is something I also get on my Instagram feed.
What kind of videos are you being served?
There's a great Instagram account called Pastors with Props. And it's just like they film their own sermons and then it somehow gets aggregated to this Instagram account. But it's just like pastors like being cool, like cool pastors. And a lot of them are like ripped and they like use analogies about like working out and weightlifting with like God.
Have you heard about these guys that would go to schools ripping telephone books in half for God?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Like I've met multiple people who these muscle men that would do a thing about Christ that involved tearing telephone books in half at public schools.
Yeah.
They like came to their school, like they really saw them, like
right. They would come to
Slim
schools.
Goodbody or something. But,
yeah.
Did you have any stuff like that in your own childhood?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up in Oklahoma, so like the cool kids at my high school were, like the Christian ones, like there's a thing called Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA. And so that was like the popular clique. And I went to like 2 of their like meetings where they would all like meet up at somebody's really nice house and talk about God. And I think that probably influenced this sort of show as well and who these boys are.
Where were you in high school? I mean, like culturally, socially?
Yeah, I was like an artsy kid. I had like my group of friends that would just like fool around in acting class. Like we found that the acting class had like a really lenient teacher and we could just do whatever we wanted. So not to say I was like a wild guy, but I liked acting and I liked art and drawing. And I got into like filmmaking and then went to college to try to do that.
But you didn't exactly. You're in your 40s and you're kind of new to show business in a way.
Yeah. It's like a midlife crisis thing. Like that's how it felt when I moved out to LA because I just like totally wrote it off. I think like right after college, I was like, I'm going to move out to LA. And then I was like, no way, it's too expensive and I don't want to live with a bunch of people. And then got into like advertising and then, just like slowly got into animation, learning animation.
Where were you working in advertising?
A local ad agency in Oklahoma City called Staple Gun in Ackerman McQueen.
So even if you're in advertising in, New York or something, show business is like right there within your reach. You know what I mean? Like,
New York.
It is like the next thing.
Right.
Beyond. Like maybe you stay in advertising because you're making so much money or something, but like it's within your sight,
Sure.
When you were working in advertising, did show business feel within your field of vision?
No, I'd say like I was thinking, okay, I'm doing ad stuff. I would like to make music videos. That seemed pretty cool. Vimeo was pretty hot at the time. And I had friends in bands and I was like, okay, I'll like try to get into that world. And I did like do quite a few music videos for friends. And then, I moved to Colorado and I was in Colorado for about 7 years or something like that. And I was just like getting poorer and poorer. I was trying to do my own thing. I started my own company and realized I just did not have the heart for it to do advertising and music videos for like $2,000. And at some point I was just like, I got to do my own thing. It's nice when you make music videos or make something for somebody else, even like a corporate video on their website. Because it's like you can try to give your own sort of like sensibility. I try to be funny. I try to sprinkle in my little isms. But I kind of realized I was kind of falling back on them. I'd be like, well, if the video sucks, it's their video. I was just trying to help. And then making my own thing, that was like the big hurdle to overcome. And then I made a short film and it got into Sundance. And then that's when I started thinking like, maybe I can tell like a story from beginning to end and it be watchable.
What's an example of an image or a pose in Ha Ha You Clowns that you realized you had like a really specific idea of?
Like in the last episode, Tristan, he's doing improv and he makes like, it's like such a specific, like he's like trying to do comedy and he's trying to do a bit and he knows he's bombing and he's trying to upstage the person next to him. And like, he looks at the audience like, can you believe this person? And so it had to be like this very peculiar face, like this like a kind of confused, silly face. And I was just like, I gotta do that face. But yeah, you know, just little nuances. I mean, I think that's what it's all about.
One of the things that I imagine when I'm watching Ha Ha You Clowns is I imagine you or you and your brother with whom you write the show having a file in your notes app or something that is just every banality that exists in human conversation, like every plain cliche
Sure.
that exists in human conversation. Do you pull those out of the air or do you track them?
I try to track them, but most often it'll just kind of come up while we're writing the script. But yes, when I hear something that I think is funny, I'll definitely write it down. I mean, the idea with the boys is like they use a lot of like idioms and expressions, and it's kind of like how they communicate. It's kind of like my way of saying that, you know, they've sort of like borrowed personalities from things they've seen on TV and movies, and that's how they talk.
Really, I just feel bad for Dad. Is he seriously putting something off again? He does realize it's 9 o'clock on a Saturday, right? He's been working so hard since Mom passed away. As far as I'm concerned, we're gonna put an end to that tonight. Well, first things first, we're gonna invite him up here and we're gonna play a round of billiards. Now, that's the best idea I've heard all day, Duncan.
It reminds me of, like, this morning on my way to work on the bus, I was listening to an interview with a former relief pitcher from my favorite baseball team, the San Francisco Giants. And he seemed like a reasonably bright guy. He was an excellent relief pitcher, especially left on left matchups. But
did he like misuse the expression or something?
Yeah, there was like, it was like just short of malapropisms, like awkwardly fit in cliches.
Yeah. I love that. When we can do that in the show, I love that. Yes.
What's an example of language on the show that you really got a kick out of?
I mean, there's like a moment where they're playing this with this like middle-aged woman on a video game, you know, like
a first-person shooter.
Yeah, and she's, you know, they're playing remotely. She's just online, but they get the sense that like they need to take care of this woman, you know, like she's a frail person. We need to like take care of her. And then Duncan like holds the microphone from his like headset and he tells his brothers, "We must protect Bree at all costs." Just like usually used for, you know, if you know the expression, it's just like, you like this person a lot. This person rocks. We must protect them at all costs.
You voice the main characters in the show. They have distinctive voices.
Yeah. Did
you intend those voices to be sometimes somewhat hard to understand?
Yeah, I mean, I knew that was going to be the case, but when I do it, like I've been doing it for so long now, it just doesn't, like I kind of forgot that it would be unintelligible.
Duncan, what's wrong? I'm just so happy. I just love you guys so much. And we love you, Duncan. I'm sorry I've been so hard on you guys during band practice. No, I should have been making band practice a priority, not roast beef melts. Oh, this hot tub's got me in the feels. Okay, let's change the mood in here, shall we? You know, I want our sons to share moments like these. Then let's make an oath tonight, guys. The hot tub stays in our family forever.
And now that like it's out there in the world, and I just can't believe that the higher ups at Adult Swim, like they never gave a note about like, oh, it's kind of hard to hear what they're saying, or we don't know what they're saying. I mean, they never mentioned that. And I'm glad they didn't. And I watch TV with subtitles anyway for anything. So I guess it was just, thank God for subtitles.
Why is the show about a dad and three brothers?
Well, I mean, like the simple answer, I guess, is just like, again, didn't have much of a life, didn't want to rely on a lot of people. So I ended up like voicing a lot of my characters. And in doing so, yeah, it's just like a lot of dudes in the process. And I knew I could do like a good like voice like this, this is the father voice. And then I just like sort of stumbled upon this, the voice of the brothers pretty much. And we all know what they sound like. So yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry. I don't really have like a really fun answer other than it was just like out of necessity, I guess.
The thing that strikes me about the like wholesome quality of the show is I always expect it to be a little neater than it ends up being on the show. Like if you pitched this show as a show about three brothers and their dad, and they love their dad, which is a perfectly appropriate pitch for the show, you would imagine that their wholesomeness would be less confused and misdirected.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also not a joke about how misdirected it is. They're just like a little bit of confused guys.
Yeah. I mean, I've been tracking what people are saying on Twitter and Reddit.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, it's very healthy. I started a Twitter just so I can like see what people are saying on the show. But yeah, there seems to be like different camps. People are like interpreting the show in interesting ways. And a lot of people like see it as like straight up 100% wholesome, and they're getting a lot out of it, and it's improving their lives is what I'm hearing. And then there's other people that are just like, it's clear that Joe has a disdain for America and all of its values, and he's poking fun of it. And it's like, it's all of that stuff. Again, I do like wholesome stuff. I do like watching it. And there would be something very basic, and I think it'd get pretty boring if it was just straight. Like the gag is they're just wholesome all the time and they're so happy. We really are. I'd like to comment, there's commentary about masculinity for sure. It's the idea, is that they are boys who mean really well. They're in this like upper middle class white bubble, and they are being influenced through media, like what it is to be a man. And I think that starts to convolute, things, and it sort of misguides them. They are misguided. I think that's kind of like the point of the show.
What do you love about those guys?
They love each other and they love their dad. That's kind of like it. And if other things get in the way, then it kind of creates chaos. But at the heart of the show, they really do love their dad.
Hey gang, just checking in on you. How you guys doing on popcorn?
I think we're soft. We're so good, Dad.
It tastes okay. How was the butter?
We devour good. You're off, Dad. Seriously, we really appreciate it.
What about drinks? Everybody good on pop?
Can I actually have another one?
One pop, going once, going twice.
Dad, you need secondhand?
No, I think I can handle it.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm good. Enjoy the movie, guys.
Your dad is seriously so sweet.
And I'm writing the show with my brother. I think we borrow a lot of stuff, like mannerisms, from our dad, who's a very nice guy. And so, it's kind of just fun to live in that world,
Is your dad enormous?
No, he's not. He's not a big guy.
That's just like
he did lift weights when I was little. He had a little gym.
Oh, really?
Yeah. He was pretty, like, if you looked at photos, I wish I had photos of my dad in his like big buff days, but yeah.
My dad got his vet's disability certified when I was 13, I think. And he got free tuition at business school. So he went to business school. But part of that was he could get free membership at the University of San Francisco gym. And it came with like training. And there was just a period where my dad was like pumping iron.
Yeah.
But just the idea of him like doing curls, you're like, wow. It's like,
whoa.
What?
I can
Is he
see the
gonna
shot
hit
now.
Someone?
Yeah. What are those for?
Yeah.
Yeah. The more I talk about it, it's like, oh, dang, that was probably another inspiration why I dropped Dude So Buff. I think it's like true. I did another interview, and I kind of realized, we all are like fascinated with our dads. I don't know if it's true for like unhealthy relationships with dads, but I think you are fascinated. You're like, yeah, you want to know what they're thinking. And with my group of friends growing up, like in high school, we just thought dads were so funny. It's like we would make little videos and we would like play father figures and put on fake mustaches. It's just so fun to do. And then at some point you kind of get older, and then the bit about being a dad is like, you really take it on. It starts as a joke and then like it takes on your persona. And so, yeah, it's just kind of like an evergreen thing, just fascination with dads, exploring dad-son relationships. It's important for guys.
When you got your short film called Ghost Dogs into Sundance, that film I watch it today and it's incredible. It's about a new rescue dog who realizes that his house is full of the ghosts of the old dogs that lived in that house.
Yes.
And then it gets really intense and dark while the rescue dog just remains a rescue dog the entire time. And when that got into Sundance, did you imagine, oh, I'm in show business now?
Yeah. I mean, I was like, oh, my life is going to change now. But it was like during COVID, and I didn't get to go. It was all remote. And the whole festival run for that year was like, it was all, pandemic time. So everything was like virtual. And then a year had passed, and I mean, nothing really happened at all. And everybody I knew from Sundance, I don't think they like got any gigs from that. So that was kind of like an eye-opening experience.
And did you think, well, I did the thing I'm supposed to do. I'm 38 years old or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess I should just move to Chicago and do advertising again?
Yeah. We can't, I mean, we were looking at homes in Oklahoma and everything. I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, stick with advertising. Cause like, even then I wasn't really fully out of advertising. I was still doing it like while I was making Ghost Dogs. But yeah, there was a period of time where you're like, oh dang, man, I'm like mixing it up with like these other filmmakers. Like this person made a feature film and I'm in the same chat room with them. So yeah, it was kind of that experience.
Are you proud of the work that you've done in the first season of this show? Were you able to make the thing that you kind of imagined in your head you'd be able to make?
Yeah, I think so. I think we did a great job. The team did an amazing job. The show was made in-house at Adult Swim. And so they sort of started up their studio again to do Ha Ha You Clowns. And, everybody just wanted it to work, And so it was like a learning curve for everybody as they they had to wire up their whole offices to animate. And I think it came out great. And everybody was like so flexible. It's like any request I had where I was like, no, this shot isn't working. I mean, they did their best to like make it work and to try to keep it like as true to the shorts as they could, which is how it started. It started as shorts on YouTube.
20 years ago, Adult Swim was this block of programming that had occasional Family Guy reruns in it to goose the ratings. And then in between, the cheapest things that could possibly be made.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons that they were so strange and compelling was because, it was like, what happens if you give 8 dudes in Atlanta your $100,000 production budget to make 7 shows or whatever it was, right?
Yeah.
What is Adult Swim in 2026 when college students aren't sitting around watching whatever's on at 11 o'clock at night and they can just watch another Family Guy rerun after the first one that they watch?
Right. I don't know if I have an answer for that because I didn't really watch Adult Swim. I'm not like a big cartoon guy. I just like, I just want to make something funny. And Adult Swim is like the last place that still, I mean, to this day, that like supports weird stuff, supports the unpolished stuff. And they're definitely like getting back into that. I feel like how it began, it's kind of like a renaissance to that style with like Smiling Friends and my show. And it's the only network that's like keeping it alive, and we have to support it. We have to support that. I mean, it's so important.
One of the characters on Ha Ha You Clowns is a billiards player named Jeanette Lee.
Mm-hmm.
She lives next door to the family at the center of the show and is typically practicing billiard shots in the backyard.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk to her a little like Wilson on Home Improvement.
Yeah.
This is probably the most unusual element of an unusual show. why does real life billiards player Jeanette Lee play billiards in the backyard over the fence from their backyard?
The answer is simple. I wanted a Wilson character that the boys could talk to over a fence. I knew that, we needed a woman in their life, like a mother figure, because their mom was deceased. And I think, there's nothing better than an athlete acting. I just find it mesmerizing. And so I wanted to get a female athlete, and give them lines and see how they do. And, there's an episode where they're playing pool. And then I was like, oh, that'd be really funny if there's a pool table outside and she's just practicing shots outside. So yeah. And then it was Jeanette, and she did amazing. I never heard her talk before or anything like that. And
she's a famous billiards player to the extent that an American billiards player could be famous, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a billiards guy, but she's the one person I know. Yeah.
Did you know her from billiards on television? And
I don't know. I
looked her up. I'm like, I kind of think that's a real person. Isn't that a real person?
Yeah. Well, see, the thing is, it's just the way that athletes deliver lines. It's just there's something like, oh, this sounds like an athlete.
And she does a really good job, too.
She does amazing.
It's not, the joke isn't that she does a bad job.
Right.
That would be an easy joke if she was just a horrible actor. She's a pretty solid actor.
Yes.
That's been super zonked lately.
You know who gets super zonked watching movies? Sean Penn. Sean was notorious for zonking out.
Just like that.
Just when Sean was about to zonk out, his all-time favorite movie came on the TV. Lawrence of Arabia.
So if we play Dad's favorite movie, he'll stay up with us.
It's worth a shot.
Why did you decide that she should be both wise and a person who mostly talks about celebrities that she's dated?
Well, yeah, if she's a celebrity pool player, and it just seemed right. It's like the boys are looking for advice, and they have to kind of dig through what her advice is, through some sort of weird, I don't know.
Like an anecdote about a time she met Arsenio Hall or something.
Yeah, that's a good example. Yeah, it's just no, wait, what's the point of the story here? Yeah, it's funny. I don't know.
Do you get reactions from people who have contempt for the show?
Yeah. A lot of people, especially when it first aired, a lot of people just didn't know what to take away from the show. They just hated the style. They hated the animation style.
2 of my children have yelled at me about it.
Yeah, they hate the voices of the boys.
Why are you watching that show again,
Yeah,
Dad?
there's no jokes. There's no jokes in this. That's when I know that, because I know I know what would make the show funny. And when they're saying that the style sucks, that there's no jokes, I'm just you just don't get it. I'm sorry. The show is not for you. But trust me, I think it's funny. It's pretty much my reaction.
The other day, my 14-year-old daughter said to me, I was watching the show. I love to watch the show because I love the show so much. I was watching the show in the living room, and she came to the door frame of the living room and looked in, and she said, Dad, why would someone make a show like that?
I think when King of the Hill first aired, I don't think everybody was like, King of the Hill, let's make some memes about Bobby. It took a long time for society to catch up. And I think that's what's happening.
It barely stayed on television. Yeah, no, King of the Hill was a bad Simpsons knockoff as far as most people were concerned for 5 years.
Yeah. So, I just got to gain that street cred. I got to be around for a second. And then, I don't watch a show until there's been about 3 seasons out. And then I'm like, well, it seems to be doing okay, so I'll check it out. It's very hard for me to get into a new show. So I have empathy for your daughter.
You've had some wonderful guest performers on the show. It's not a guest performer heavy show, but you had a big character played by Justin Theroux.
Mm-hmm.
And then you also had a character played by Cherry O'Terry.
Yeah.
Who was a deeply troubled woman.
Yeah, they try to set dad up on a date with Sherry O'Terry, basically. And that's a good example of, we were in the studio, she came in, recorded, did amazing, did her like Sherry O'Terry isms. And then we really tried to like borrow like the way that she like cocks her head and stuff and like wiggles it when she talks. And we
And
really
it's a character that doesn't look anything like Sherry
doesn't look
O'Terry,
like
but
her.
has that.
Yeah, she was offended. She could, because we had like the animatic by the time that she recorded the lines, and she was like offended by her appearance. She's like, God dang, I'm ugly. I'm like, just wait.
You're like, look at the other characters on the show.
Yeah, exactly. That's always my excuse when somebody's offended by how they look. I'm like, just trust me. You're like pretty attractive in this world. But Sherry O'Terry did so good. Oh my God.
Have you worked with any of those kinds of voice actors who are serious voice actors where you can ask them for a different
Yes.
take and they do something completely different and they can do that 7 times in a row?
Yes. Because our budget is so, we couldn't like pay for a lot of actors. So, oftentimes somebody would come in to read 2 or 3 characters. And so they would have to play different ages, and they're really good at what they do. Yeah, that's when like, there's the actors, great comedians, and then there's people who's just really good at voice acting. And,
Do you feel like you're in show business now?
a little bit. Yeah. Yeah. So it was renewed for 2 and 3, for seasons 2 and 3. And I was like so excited, so relieved, because I didn't know if anybody was watching the show, which is why I was on Twitter all the time. And then, whenever other people heard the news, they'd be like, damn, 2 seasons, which I guess is like a big thing. And so now I feel like, oh, dang, I got something here. So I'm feeling good.
Have you talked to any reporters from Variety or gone to the Cable Ace Awards or anything?
We got an Annie Award, and so we're going to go to the Animations Award. So
That doesn't
got that.
count. That's not show business. How did the experience of having your own television program compare with what you imagined it might be like?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't think I had any expectations of, this process of making a TV show. I can't believe that it's happening. I'll tell you that. That's all. I mean, it's just, it's so fun to be able to like work with my brother. It's just like, we have this like, he lives in England. And so it's just like a great opportunity to like hang out. We'll have writers retreats and we'll like come up with funny ideas and just be cracking up. And in the animatic room with my showrunner, Carl Ferrullo, I mean, we're just laughing as we're making stuff. It's like such a fun experience. And that's why I think animation, I mean, truly, if it's like done right, it could be like the funniest medium, because you have so many opportunities to like get it right. You can always go back and re-record. You could always you can change the scene entirely if you wanted to. Like, there's so many opportunities to plus up stuff. And that's been a lot of fun.
Joe Cappa, I have just loved Ha Ha You Clowns. I'm so glad you got to make it. So glad it got picked up for its 2nd and 3rd season. And thank you so much for taking the time to come and talk to me.
Thank you. This has been a great interview.